Greetings, citizens of the internet and collectors of high quality polyvinyl chloride. Here with a video today to talk to you about the state of the music industry in 2021. And this video was sort of inspired by Chris over at Old Man Yells at a Cloud Farm. We had jokingly had a conversation with each other about a sponsored ad that I received regarding the Chicago at Carnegie Hall box set, which has 19 CDs, and it's every single note that Chicago recorded during their Carnegie Hall run. Originally came out on a 4 LP box set back in the 70s, and I jokingly said that I was going to hold out until the 49 LP Record Store Day exclusive came out. But I feel that from the bottom of a well, that's where we are uh, in 2021. And it's been a strange run for me. I think this is my first video that I've really done post pandemic, mid pandemic, if you will. Um, and it's been a strange 18 months for me, going from working from home now, surrounded by my stuff 24/7, not being in the office. I used to be able to go on my lunch break and take a walk to 5 different record stores on the daily, and that doesn't happen anymore. But it's given me a pretty big look at sort of my habits and where I'm at and what the future holds for me. I think a lot of conversations that I've been having with folks who collect records and collect music in general, um, we've been saying a lot like, what's the end game, right? So what happens to all this stuff? What do we do with it? And why do we keep doing it? Um, when does the simulation end? And it's been strange the last 2 months in general. If you think about sort of where we are in time, there's a lot of 50th anniversaries and an example of Nirvana, their 30th anniversary of Nevermind. There's all these insane, lavish box sets that are coming out, and the record industry has sort of set this bar that if you want to get in on this action, it's going to cost you at least $100, right? Um, Nirvana, huge box set with Nevermind. Beatles, Let It Be, just recently. The George Harrison, we'll call that the Yard Gnome configuration, right? A box set of LPs that actually came with Yard Gnomes. The Beach Boys have had a big box set for their Sunflower and Surf's Up albums, which are 2 of my favorite albums of theirs. Um, and the Rolling Stones have done 40th anniversary things for Goat's Head Soup and Tattoo You, right? So we're in this crazy sort of 30th anniversary, 40th anniversary, 50th anniversary. There's a lot of this just, going to continue. The Who Sell Out, which Chris talked about. I think that was in August, or no, that was earlier this summer, maybe June. Um, but we're in such a strange place where, especially vinyl, do not lose your sight, right? Do not lose the reason why that you started collecting vinyl in the first place. Um, and I think this is a conversation that a lot of people aren't having. And if you want to, have that conversation with me one on one, I'd be happy to talk you through it. Because I think a lot of people are thinking about it right now, and the pandemic has made us think about that. Um, but if you look back, right, so the reason why that I started collecting vinyl was because it was cheap, and I could get a lot of albums for not a lot of money. Um, if I go back and I think about my humble beginnings, right, there's a picture of my childhood room, probably sometime 2001. I got my records here, got my CDs over here. Got my Pink Floyd poster, got my Abbey Road poster, got my Johnny Cash, got my Grateful Dead flag. If I think about where that was and where that started, I used to go to thrift stores. I could get records for $1, right? CDs were like 14 bucks back then, brand new. If you wanted a brand new CD, if you got them used, they were probably like $8.99 for the good stuff. If you wanted Beatles albums, let's just say for an example. Um, Around 2004, 2005, 2006, I worked at a record store and we had all CDs. That's all we carried, CDs and DVDs. And we had a couple of guys who would come in and bring vinyl on consignment. We had a wall behind the cash register that was the, expensive stuff. That was here's your Led Zeppelin, your Doors, your Dylan, your Pink Floyd. Um, but all the stuff that was sort of out in boxes were $3 a piece or three for $5. And I was able to make a huge, really good record collection out of that. There was a lot of stuff that just was anchored my collection. But we've moved into a strange part now where there's the box sets that are. Let's talk about the Let It Be, right? So early '90s, I got not early '90s, I'd say mid '90s, something like that. I won't lie about it. I got the Beatles Let It Be, right? I have it on vinyl. Uh, got it on CD. Listened to it a ton of times. Has the album changed in my life? Of course it has. I used a line for it in my best friend's when I gave the best man speech at his wedding, right? Um, will I be buying the new box set? Absolutely not. Uh, Here is the remaster that came out in 2009. Bought it used, $8. Have I listened to this version in that 12 years more than I listened to the vinyl and the original CD I bought back in the 90s? Absolutely not. So I don't know what would be in that box set that I would listen to more than what I've already listened to. And it's bizarre because the configurations, there's the LP and then there's the CD and there's the Get Back original cut of the album before Phil Spector got to it, which has been on bootleg for years and years and years and years. But now it has the official Beatles stamp, so it's something that we can appreciate and it's respectable. Um, and then there's the 2 CD, which is the album again, and then just sort of a peppering of bonus tracks. I would love to get a CD version, a good quality remastered version of the Get Back album, but that's not an option, right? Uh, and again, if I buy this will be the fourth one. This will be the fourth copy of this album that I bought. So I can't justify it, and I don't think that you should either. I don't think that you should feel bad about not buying it. Don't feel pressured into buying it, right? Um, I had a friend on Instagram that hey, you got that album? I gave him a little heart. That's great. He asked me which one I got, and I was like, I didn't. I haven't gotten it. I don't think I will get it. And he was kind of shocked by that. But that's where I'm at. What's the end game? What do we do with all these? Where do these all go? You know, it's a tough question. I did pick that up. These the Beach Boys Feel Flows, right? So this is basically Surf's Up and Sunflower, 34 unreleased tracks. But guess what? I had this one. That had the original album and Surf's Up. Are the bonus tracks, is there anything on here that is better than what's on here? Probably not. I mean, I've enjoyed it. The bonus tracks are fun, but I wouldn't buy the huge LP box set for that. Are you going to listen to that more than you listen to Surf's Up or Sunflower? No. I think nobody's saying that, but we can all admit that. And another really interesting sort of thing that I've noticed is just the price of vinyl in general, right? Brand new albums are 25, 30 bucks. Everyone's a gatefold. Every single album's a gatefold. There's still people that release albums that are like 15 bucks. You know, it still exists out there, but like everybody wants to get a gatefold colored vinyl, what have you. Um, and it's weird. I mean, I remember in probably this would have probably been like 2000, 2007, 2008, maybe sometime around there. The Raconteurs, Broken Boy Soldiers, when that album came out, I remember that vinyl being $30 back then, and it was two LPs, and I was just like, what? Not spending $30 on a record? I bought it on CD. So I've been buying a lot more CDs now. That's more where my focus is. I've been having yard sales on the regular and been selling a lot of records, and it's been good. I recently had a yard sale and I sold three Deep Purple albums, and with the money that I made with that, I bought this, the complete albums. You know, of course, you're missing the earlier stuff, those first three albums, but they were easily obtained as well. But again, I sold three of these albums that are on here, and I was able to get all of this. It's strange. It's just very strange. There's still some good stuff coming out, but use your judgment. Don't get caught up in this because at the end of the day, like I said, will you play it? Will you play everything? I think I've joked years ago. The videos that would get the most views in the vinyl community were your finds videos. If you would say, "Oh, hey, vinyl finds," boom, you would get a ton of people watching those. But if you would talk about one specific album, which I would do with the 30-day challenge, where I didn't buy records for 30 days, those ones didn't get nearly as many views. And the thing that nobody was admitting in that time was that we were acquiring more records than we had the opportunity to listen to. So I'm at this point now where I'm coming down the mountain, right? So figuratively as well as literally, right? So we're there, right? So in the 20 years that I've been collecting vinyl, is it going to take me 20 years to uncollect all these vinyl, right? That's the big question. And that's the question that when I see these huge box sets and I see these people just amassing this stack of records that are a mortgage payment, and they're kind of saying, "Oh well, man, this where we are, you know." Have you ever met somebody that bought so much music that they had to cut back on other things, that they have to say, "Well, you know what? I can do bologna and cheese." I know of people that have done that. Have I ever done that? No. I've had some moments where I was pretty close to that, but mentally, I've always had a number that I would say I would never spend more than X amount of dollars for stuff. And I think that's important to keep that in mind. So do not lose sight. Do not lose sight of that. I'll show you a couple more cool things. More CDs. So keep thumbs downing the video. Um, Bob Dylan, Springtime in New York. This is cool. This is the Bootleg Series 16. I believe it came out on vinyl, and there was also a huge book and 5 CDs that came out. I think that was somewhere around the neighborhood of $60 to $70. But this is all outtakes from Infidels and Shot of Love and Empire Burlesque. So 3 albums that people talk about Infidels, but those are 3 albums that not a lot of people talk about or listen to, right? But I've enjoyed this. There's some good stuff on this. But here we are, 22 bucks, much more manageable. And I've listened to that well than enough times. Um, Here's a couple other things, just to put on your radar because I know it's been a while. This is fun. So this is Keystone Corner, San Francisco, May 21st, 1971. Garcia and Merle Saunders. That's really cool. They've come out with another one since then because they release these, about once a quarter or maybe once every 2 quarters, something like that. but here we are. Did I need to get it on vinyl? Absolutely not. Because guess what? 12 bucks, right? Am I going to listen to this more than I'll listen to it on vinyl? Absolutely. Beyond the Pale Horizon, the British progressive pop sounds of 1972. Some interesting tracks on here. This is sort of after the psychedelic music did its thing. What did those bands do? It's a lot of like Thin Lizzy and Electric Light Orchestra and Free and uh, Vandergraaf Generator, Caravan, the original Nirvana, Nazareth, the Moody Blues are on here. It's great stuff. This is the stuff that really interests me, right? It comes with a fantastic, fantastic book of liner notes that I'll read and I'll enjoy. You know, this didn't come out on vinyl, but I don't need it. I don't need to seek out the original singles for that. There's another one. I'm a Freak Baby, Volume 3. This is an amazing set. This is really all those, this is sort of proto metal, right? Proto metal post British blues. What was going on with the music scene right here? Got bands like Mott the Hoople, Deep Purple, Nazareth again, Creepy John Thomas, Uriah Heep. You know, there's some interesting stuff in here. These are great. These are out on Grapefruit, the Cherry Red label. Another one, Riding the Rock Machine, British 70s classic rock. I love it. Rainbow, Uriah Heep, Moody Blues, The Alan Parsons Project, Foghat, Spencer Davis Group, Faces, Procol Harum. Bands that people don't talk about. I love that. But again, I know that we're sort of rambling with this video. Chris, I know you showed this. 40 bucks. CD. This is what this cost me. 5 CD set. Had the book. Has the CDs. The complete albums. This is how you do a box set, right? You don't need to do one particular album and then give you every single thing that was possibly released on it. Bob Dylan, Biograph. This was 20 bucks used. This is probably one of the most perfect box sets that has ever come out. It really just is a collection of a lot of his albums, right? You get the album cuts, you get the deep cuts. It's all you need. You don't need to really go too in depth. And if you do, that's fine. But again, this was 3 CDs and a book. You didn't need to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 CDs. Steve and I have talked about this one on our podcast. The Doors box set. This is probably one of the first box sets for 1997, right? So this was pretty early for some of those classic rock bands. Before that was sort of a thing. Again, you get the best of band favorites, deep cuts, some live stuff. That's it. 4 LPs or 4 CDs. Just show you some books real quick. I know we're almost 20 minutes, but just want to show you a few things. I haven't forgot about psychedelic music and the cheap records that you can get in the thrift stores. So this is all those records that nobody cared about. The Doors songbook. What else is in here? Like the Flower Power sitar, right? So all these exploito. Paul Moriarty. I'm sure you guys have seen that a time or two, right? So easy listening acid trip. It's a great book. Sort of all of those sort of records that exist. And there's a really cool thing in the back that is a picture of a lady in a bikini. I'm just kidding. That gives you sort of those albums if you care to seek them out. The Brass Ring, you can see they mentioned that. Mystic Moods Orchestra. It's all those records that you forgot about at the thrift store. they were actually worth picking up. So that's it. 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. So we'll talk soon. Hopefully more sooner than later.